Hi, friends. Hello, hello. Hi, hi. Hello. So, welcome to my live show. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. I'm not doing this at my usual time. I usually do this at 11 o'clock New York time every Wednesday, but I had a medical appointment this morning, so I had to move it to 4 o'clock. I hope your health is well. I found out some bad things today that I have high blood pressure and I might have some stomach issues because of the stress, but hopefully your health is better than mine. Just gonna give it a little time for people to join. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and if you like this, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Hi, G20822718. I don't usually let anybody join me in my lives. I see that you're sending requests. I don't let anybody join because this is I'm a lawyer, so it's a show by a lawyer, and I don't know you, so I don't want anybody to join me whom I don't know. I am going to open on my okay, my comments. Uh, Usman is asking, oh, Usman says, hello, ma'am. Hope you're doing well. Best wishes from my side for your health. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are taking good care of yourself. I went to the doctor today and realized that I haven't been to the doctor since I had COVID in 2020. 3 years I haven't gone because I was afraid of the bad news. And the bad news is that I am overweight. I need to lose weight. My blood pressure is too high and I need to take better care of myself. I knew all this without going to the doctor, but they're going to force me to take a pill for my blood pressure. Anthony Bennett says, good evening, dear Marina. You do so much for all of us. God bless you. God bless you guys for watching. Thank you. I'm going to get into the immigration news in a minute. Before I do, I want to tell you I'm willing to answer your questions as much as I can on social media. This is not legal advice. I'm not giving anyone any legal advice. I'm just teaching you all for some basic educational things for processes that occur over and over again in immigration and based on what I know. Somebody here says on Instagram, File Law. Hope you're doing well. Your page is loaded with credible information. Thank you so much. Drop in the comments where you're watching me from. Where are you now watching me? Your town and your country. And if you have a question about immigration, ask me the question. I can talk about anything in the area of immigration, but again, nothing I say in the show is legal advice. If you want to get legal advice from us, give our office a call, schedule a consultation. I'm about to set up an option where you can go on our website. By the way, I recommend that you guys check out our website. There's so much information on our website. I write a blog personally every day. There's so many articles on our website and my blog talking about things that have to do with immigration. Like today, I wrote an article about the skills you need as a new immigrant in the US. I talk about the different case types, tips to better improve the experience with asylum, with VAWA, with cancellation and removal. And I was talking to somebody in my office. Oh, somebody is watching me from Nigeria, from Lagos. Hello, Nigeria. We actually have a lot of clients from Nigeria, and they now live in different parts of the United States. So that's really awesome. And I can't answer your question. I can't do a live with you. So if you're asking to join my live, just write your question on the bottom as a comment, and I will answer it a little bit later because I want to talk about the news first. I'm waiting for some of you to start watching. Joining here on YouTube. Lindsay says hello, hi. Naresh is watching from Dallas. We have some clients from Dallas already. So thank you and welcome. UK is from Los Angeles. Amazing. Mr. Tusk says hi, attorney. Adu says Marina Shepelsky, good afternoon. Thank you for spelling my name right. My name is obviously Ukrainian or Russian Ukrainian, People can't spell it. I've been told all kinds of funny things. If you're an immigrant here, like me, I'm an immigrant too, like you guys, you can sympathize with this experience I've had. People misspelling my name left and right, and it's really funny sometimes. Eitan says he's from California. Amazing. Thank you for watching. Lisa Gula is from California. Farahan says, hi, Marina. Happy to see you again from California. Shoban from Seattle. Wow, this is awesome. I feel like I have more viewers today than usual. Maybe my time and in the morning on Wednesday is too early for people from like Seattle and California because I know you guys are 3 hours behind. Um, okay, just saying some hellos, and I noticed that my light is off. Okay, now my light is on. I didn't know if you could see me, but I have a light behind. Uh, okay, so let's get into immigration news. The USCIS released a new rule that you must bring your own personal interpreter, translator, to the asylum interview with USCIS. So if you have an interview with USCIS, my God, you've been waiting for 10 years. You've been waiting and waiting, and finally you have your interview scheduled. You must bring your own interpreter. You must pay them, and I highly recommend to bring a professional interpreter, somebody who does these interviews all the time. Just because you have a friend or cousin or your sister who speaks good English does not mean they will be a good interpreter. Hire somebody, get somebody who's done these interviews before, and it's not their first time. Okay? And they translate from the first person. So if you say in your language, I went to such and such place, they will say in English, I went to such and such place, versus she went to such and such place. That's like the first thing that gives away someone who doesn't know how to be an interpreter. So just be careful, bring your own interpreter. And they're saying if you don't bring your own interpreter to the asylum interview, they have a right to deny your asylum case for no show, as if you didn't show up at all, okay? Because you came like unprepared. All right. So I'm trying to see some questions, but first I want to do some news about the USCIS. Let me see. I have some things written down for you guys. I'm from New York City. Our office is in New York, but we work with clients from all over. New York is struggling with new immigrants. People are coming in here by the thousands from the border, and we can't manage them. They're everywhere. They don't have a place to stay. They don't have a place to live. They don't have food. It's a disaster, and it's not a good situation for these immigrants or for New Yorkers. So this is just out of control, and I guess this is why the Texas and Arizona governors have been sending people here because they've been struggling as well. They've been really struggling with managing all the immigrants too. So that's in the news. What else? I was scared. All right. Um, It's also in the news how long Indians have to wait for an employment green card. Some people are facing like a crazy 134-year wait, which is insane. That's in the news today. Illegal border crossings increased, went up by 33% in July. So in July, U.S. border officials processed migrants 183,503 charges, which is a 33% increase in illegal crossings. So these are not people who officially asked for asylum, who used the CBP One app. These are people who were caught at the border, and I guess when they were caught, they were processed. It's more than 33% increase, and it was really hot in July, and people still went ahead and came in. More than 840,000 people from Afghanistan are still waiting for U.S. visas. So the Afghanistan people or Afghans are stuck in Afghanistan waiting for their special immigrant visas. The U.S., says the Department of State General report, this visa program initiated in 2009 to help Afghans who help U.S. soldiers and the U.S. government in Afghanistan. They face danger for their help and collaboration with Americans. They continue to face challenges sitting in Afghanistan, waiting for their visas, despite efforts to streamline and expedite their special immigrant visa processing. And this is very dangerous, and there's nothing happening to help people to come here from Afghanistan. Interesting information came out for anyone that has a pending asylum case, pending green card application, or pending U.S. citizenship application, naturalization application. U.S. immigration officers are creating fake social media profiles, fake Facebook profiles, fake Instagram profiles, fake TikTok accounts to investigate into people who are filing for U.S. immigration benefits. So, as I always tell my clients, be very careful with what you post on social media. The government can find it like this. Basically, if I Google your name right now, I could probably find most of your social media. And you were saying in your asylum case that you are depressed, you've been traumatized by your plight in your home country, and then you're posting happy pictures of dancing and grinding and drinking on your page. That is not going to help you. It's going to hurt your asylum case. If you file for a green card in a marriage with a U.S. citizen, and then you have pictures on your social media of being with your boyfriend or girlfriend, another person, not the person that you're saying you live with, they can find it, and you will get denied for marriage fraud, which is like a big X on your entire history in the United States. You'll never get anything else after that. So be very careful with what you are putting on social media. By the way, President Trump has said if he gets reelected, he wants the government officials like immigration officers to stalk you for communist ideas on your social media and deny you for various benefits and green card and U.S. citizenship, asylum, things like that, if you are a communist supporter, right? So, keep that in mind, and keep in mind that uh, you will not notice what happened. You will never know because they will use some fake name like Joe Schmo. Or sometimes I see people don't even have names; they have like numbers and weird um, characters, and it's just a random picture of someone, and that's that. People on Instagram are wishing me to take care of my health. Thank you so much. I have to get on a diet. Um, Okay, so let's go on with the news. We discussed this whole thing. Oh, you know what? I was doing a TikTok this week about this. By the way, find me on TikTok if you are watching me here. I do really useful, but sometimes a little funny videos there with information that's not here. Different, like I have different content on my various social media. But I posted about this old fraud referral sheet. It's not old because it's still used, but it was released to the public sometime a long time ago, like 2010, and it's still circulating. So if you're worried about your um, immigration interview, right? These are the things that the government, USCIS, considers to be fraud signals, and they will check off on the checklist and write up a fraud referral sheet on you if you have the following. When you go to the interview, these are fraud indicators. Extreme nervousness. Okay, if you're extremely nervous, like too much nervous, they might consider that as you have something to worry about. You're lying. Over interaction, like talking to them too much. Lack of knowledge about basic questions in your form. late for the interview. Answers are prompted, like your lawyer or your spouse or whoever your interpreter is forcing you to answer, prompting you, or helping you answer. Lack of interest or interaction with the officer, no eye contact, evasive or general answers who can't specifically answer the question. Answers are interrupted by your lawyer or another person. An attorney tries to distract or mislead. That, oh, by the way, I have a funny story. One time I was away on vacation, and my clients were scheduled at that time for an interview. They called me. I said, I can't go to this interview with you. I'm on vacation. This is like years ago when I used to work alone. And they hired another lawyer. So they went with this other lawyer, and the other lawyer was playing on his phone, and he was bothering the officer to the point where the officer threw all of them out from the interview and denied the case because the lawyer was playing on his phone, and I guess the officer thought maybe he was doing something inappropriate. So be careful how you act at these interviews. Everything you do can be held against you. Other indicators of fraud could be that your documents were issued too close to the interview, right away, right before the interview. The documents were issued immediately after your interview. Over submissions, like you give them too much papers. Uh, Photographs that are too explicit, like too sexy for marriage, for example, or look staged, like they look fake. We just did this for the case. These are not real pictures. Financial transactions, multiple applications petitions by the signal petition, like your husband filed for three other people before you. Preparer, notary, maybe lawyer are all the same person. They get a tip letter or phone call that your case is fraud. So a friend reports you for immigration fraud. Suspect documents, biometric discrepancies, denied for abandonment or withdrawal after request for evidence issued. There's so much more. So basically, there's a whole list of things that look like something's going on with fraud in your case. For example, if it's a marriage case, one person is very poor and low employment, and the other is like like the immigrant is a doctor, and their husband or wife doesn't have a job at all and has been unemployed for the last 3 years. That looks weird. A successful person like a doctor is not going to put up with and getting married to somebody unless they're getting papers. And one person has low income, that means they have no money, they have an incentive to lie and do a fake marriage. So I might talk more about this later in a video, but this is just for our live today, and I hope this was helpful to you. Okay, let's proceed with the show. Um, let's see. I'm going to start answering your questions right now. Lindsay says hello. Mr. Mojita, 7 months he filed for VAWA and there's still no prima facie. Is there a problem? Yes, there's some problem, and probably you didn't file proof of good moral character and no arrest. Maybe you didn't include a story, or maybe you didn't include proof of the good faith marriage. You missed on one element of VAWA. VAWA, we have to prove 3 things, and even initially file 3 things if you're interested and if you're going to get a prima facie. Proof of the marriage, some deals in 2 names, leases, and stuff like that. Form and a declaration describing the good faith marriage and the abuse. Some proofs of abuse and proof of good moral character, including proof that you've never been arrested. Like, for example, in our office, we take your fingerprints ourselves and we do an FBI background check. So, if you're missing one of those, then you didn't get your prima facie. That explains it. Okay, so I answered that. Siobhan from Seattle is watching. Hello. Farah Khan says, I wanted to ask if someone came to the US through Mexican border, and she gets status through marriage to US citizen. Usually, no. Okay? If you came through the border, that means you came with no visa. That's the biggest problem. You would have to leave US to get the marriage immigrant visa, and if you leave, that might trigger a permanent bar and for you not to come back because you came with no visa. Now, there are some ways to do this. You might need an I-601 waiver, 601A waiver, or there is an exception if you are filing for VAWA, the marriage to a U.S. citizen was abusive. Other than that, no. The bond says, I have been in this country for 7 years continuously. Am I eligible for a green card? No, you're not. 7 years being here illegally does not make you eligible for a green card. Mohammed says, my VAWA case was received on January 27, 2023. I got the prima facie biometrics were taken in April of 2023, but I still haven't got my work permit and advance parole. How long will it take? About a year. So from the date you filed VAWA, about a year if you filed the I-485 with your I-360. Mr. Mokid says, I'm from Michigan. I filed my VAWA 7 months ago. Oh, okay, we answered. Herder says, hello, I-130 case. I'm a U.S. citizen. I applied for my husband. Yesterday, I received a notice from USCIS reviewing my case. How long does it take usually? Between 1.5 years to 2 years, sometimes a little more. Jared says, hi Marina, I have a question. My brother-in-law filed for my husband in 2014, and when he checks his processing time, it shows that he can submit a report about his case. What does that mean? Siblings, U.S. citizens, filing for a brother sibling is currently taking like 20 years or something, 16 years. So it's too early to check yet, and I wouldn't worry about it. I would just wait for now. Nankira Miriam says, hi Marina, can I ask for a DV? I don't know what that means. Sarah says, do you help extend the Cathedral Port of Entry close to San Diego? Yes, we can. We can help. So you need a U.S. sponsor though, like a guarantor, Farah. If you have somebody in the family or a friend who can guarantee that the person will have a place to stay and get them mail to that address and a phone number where the person will take responsibility for the people in the detention, they will be released immediately. Emily says, what is E14 or E15 immigrant status? How to get it? It's usually one of those work-related EB statuses. E14 is a spouse of E11, which is aliens with extraordinary ability. So the spouse, the main applicant, has to get the EB1. EB1 is usually somebody who has extraordinary ability, and their spouse gets the E14, and the E16 is probably the kids of that category. All right. Main John says, my name says, hello, I got an I-485 entry this month after my VAWA was approved. I'm kind of nervous because my VAWA was based on an abusive marriage and it was denied twice. Yeah, so you have a complex history. Give us a call. We can probably go to this interview with you, prepare you, go over everything. Give us a call, 718-769-6352. On YouTube, Toya says my marriage-based green card got denied because my husband did not attend my interview. And when I went, I filed for VAWA. Now I have a prima facie and my work and advance parole combo card. I would like to travel, but I'm afraid. I would not be afraid. You got your advance parole, travel. It's fine as long as your case is active, pending, you have no arrests or anything like that. You can travel. What you should consider before leaving on an advance parole with an open VAWA case. Just bring your passport, bring your advance parole, bring all the paperwork, the I-485 notice, your VAWA receipt notice. Make sure you bring all those with you and your work permit / advance parole card. You should be fine. Is there any news on TPS for Cameroon? Right now, no. There's no TPS for Cameroon. Well, let me see. Let me double check actually. Sometimes I'd say one thing and then it's something else. All right, temporary. Okay, Cameroon is on the list of countries that has TPS. It was extended through December 7th, 2023. We are waiting for them to announce the extension. So there is no news of the extension, if that's what you're asking. So if you have TPS in Cameroon, I think they will extend it again. So don't worry, they will extend it again, but it hasn't been announced yet. They usually announce very close to the date. So like October, November, they will announce about the Cameroon CPF re-registration. All right. Let's see from Instagram. The questions from Instagram. Okay. Chandio says he thinks I hate him. I don't hate you, but I cannot do a live with you because I don't invite people I don't know to my live. It's just my rule. G2 says I want to bring my mom and sister together. It's gonna be a long wait. I'm sorry. Gita wants to know how much the lawyers charge for immigration. It's really expensive. We are expensive. I'm not shy about it. We are expensive because we are one of the best people in the country. We are a firm of professionals. We have a great team. It's an investment in your future in the US. So, we are true professionals. I had to go to school for like 7 years, and then I've been practicing law for 21 years, and plus the other people in my office have been practicing law for many, many years. I go to very expensive conferences for immigration lawyers every year, a couple of times a year. I pay all kinds of fees to be the best expert in my field that I can for you guys. So it's expensive to be our client, but it's worth it. We win almost every single case. And sadly, I can't say we win 100% because that's false and nobody wins 100%, but we win more than 90% of all our cases. And if we say to you, we think you will win, not just like a 50-50, you will win. So yeah, it's an investment in your future. It's not going to be cheap. I'm telling you right now. My personal consultation is around $200-300. The people in my office is a little less. It goes up and down depending on the demand. When I have super, super busy month and I literally don't have a place to squeeze in someone, my consultation fee goes up. I've had years where I charged $500 for 1 hour, and people paid it and hired us and won their cases. Right now, I think it's around $395 for an hour consultation or more if you need it. But we don't just when people say, "Oh, I just have a couple of questions. Why do I have to pay?" This is not about answering a couple of questions. The questions I do these live, so I'm happy to answer. Brian DeShaul says he's watching from Washington, D.C. Brian, thank you for posting. I always read your posts, and I really appreciate you watching. Um, Okwa Bulago says he wants to work in visa or visiting visa from Nigeria. If he's a contractor, you have to find a company to hire you and employ you and sponsor you for a visa. We don't help people with finding a sponsor. Okay. Christian says, "Hi, man." Deb Joy T 90077 says, "How are you, ma'am? I'm fine, thank you." Big boy Joy T says, "Can I get an H-1B visa with 3 years and 2 years masters from India?" You can, but the lottery is over for this year. So you can apply next year if you get a company to sponsor you for the H-1B visa. I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not right now. Okay. Eitan says, "What are some tips on applying for VAWA from outside the country for a strong case?" Okay, you have to prove the marriage was real. So the documents have to show bills in two names, expenses, travel in two names, pictures together, bank accounts together, credit cards together, stuff like that. You have to prove the abuse. Go to a psychologist, get an evaluation. You have to prove good moral character, no arrest, you're helping in the community, you're a good moral person. And if you're inside US, good moral character is usually inclusive of paying taxes, filing tax returns. So if you can show all that, you have a great chance of winning VAWA. Camila says there's static in my show. Can you hear me, guys? Mr. McKee said no, we have stored police protection. Okay, very good. Jamila Diallo says, I've been waiting for my advance parole since last November. I filed VAWA in August 2022, last year. When can I get the advance parole? Sometimes advance parole takes 18 months. Eitan says, when proving good moral character, what should a letter from church look like or should include? The letter from church for VAWA, good moral character, should be in addition to a police clearance. Uh, so the letter from church say that you are a parishioner, you go to church all the time, they see you there all the time, you're a God-fearing person, you're a good person, and stuff like that. Alex wants to know why the ask took so long, taking so long. It takes over 3 years. I don't know. Farah says, can we help you schedule the CBP1 appointment? It's hard because you have to download the CBP1 app and do it on your phone. And I think they track it. So we can maybe like work with you remotely, but I don't know if we can help do it on our end for you. Or Hart says, hi, are there new possibilities for naturalization of Ukrainians? Right now, Ukrainians got TPS, which is for somebody who practices immigration law for people all over the world, it's a huge deal to get TPS. Right now, the best way to do this for Ukrainians is to file and get TPS. The next step, are we going to get automatic green card for Ukrainians? We'll see. Right now, there's nothing else we can do. Mimi says, asking about, oh, yes, Mimi. So I answered. Right now, there's no news about TPS renewal, but for Cameroon, but soon. Cameroon renewal will come soon. Thank you for asking. Bisola Omatade says, please tell us about the Dignity Act. The Dignity Act was proposed as a law that would allow people to legalize in U.S. after 7 years. It has not yet been even discussed in Congress. It's not even on the Congress discussion floor. So we'll see what happens. Mimi wants to know if you have TPS, can you travel if you were out of status before? Yes, absolutely. TPS allows you to get an advance parole and travel even if you had out of status stayed before. Goldie says, can I apply for advance parole with asylum pending? It's super difficult to get approved for the advance parole with an asylum pending application. You can apply, but your chances of approval are like this small. Super hard to get. You'd have to show a funeral, you have to attend, or some extreme family emergency to get an advance parole while you have a pending asylum case, I-589. Jamila says, I've been waiting for my advance parole since November. I answered this already. Mimi says, you're actually not expensive. Thank you so much, Mimi. I appreciate you saying that. Mimi says, you're very affordable and you do a great job and very fast. I have referred many people to you. Oh my God, thank you so much, Mimi. I really appreciate you saying that. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Mimi says, many fake lawyers charge more and do a horrible job. Thank you. I mean, some people say we're expensive, so now I say we're expensive just so that people have an expectation. But actually, compared to other people, we're like in the middle. You know, compared to what other good lawyers. Now, I'm only going to compare myself to other good lawyers, right? I'm not comparing myself to non-lawyer paralegals who steal money from people. I'm dealing with one right now who stole a bunch of clients that came to us. Somehow they got intercepted by the paralegal, and I got the district attorney involved, and they're going to get arrested very soon. But these people only lie and screw up cases. So if you have a serious situation, and we deal with the most serious situation, like if you have asylum, if you have VAWA, if you have cancellation of removal, if you have a waiver, come to us, we will help you. We deal with the hardest situations, and we're not expensive, we're in the middle. But generally, it's a lot of money because it's a lot of work for us. You know? Okay, Mr. Mohi says, If something is missing, will they ask for documentation or deny? If they need more documents for VAWA, they will send a request for evidence and give you a chance. My friend Porfirio Diaz, who's always watching, hello, he says he went to Mexico with his advance parole and he got VAWA. And he came with his Mexican passport, his advance parole, and got a stamp that he is paroled for multiple entries. This is good news. It means you can come in and come and go, come and go. So you'll be able to go again to Mexico, to other countries. This is great. And he says, good afternoon, ojitos lindos. Thank you so much. I know lindos means pretty. Ojitos, I don't know what it means. Porfirio, write to me what ojitos means. Farah says, thank you so much, Marina, for all your advice. I'll give you guys a call tomorrow. Thank you, Farah. Oh, so Porfirio is sharing his experience using the advanced parole. He had VAWA, he has advanced parole, he came back, everything is fine. See, he's posting here. He's one of these people that I calm down and encourage to travel with his advanced parole because he's been watching me for over a year already. Porfirio says they stamped him for advanced parole and they put in my first trip to Mexico because when I came back, they only asked for a documentation and letter. I didn't have a letter, so they asked for my Mexican passport and they let me go. When you travel with your advance parole, bring the advance parole, bring your I-485 pending receipt notice, bring your VAWA pending or approval notice, and bring your Mexican or Cameroon or Pakistani or Bangladesh passport. It shouldn't be expired, or if it's about to expire, you should get a new passport. That's it. And he says the first time they did put him in the room and ask him questions, but that's it. They let him go. Rosie Corradia says, any update for DACA? Unfortunately not. Mimi said she referred somebody to us recently where a lawyer in California took thousands of dollars from her and didn't even file her case, and she just said they're waiting. Thank you very much. Orhard says, how much does the average asylum case cost approximately if it's not a secret? It's not a secret. So like a regular case for asylum, filing for asylum, getting an interview is around $8,000, and we do payment plans. And if you need to go to court, it's an additional $6,000. We give you a contract, everything is super clear, super open. We make you sign a contract, we put you on a payment plan. Everything is billed through our official legal billing system, only for lawyers. The credit card is charged to that system. Everything is an up and up. Thank you. Tom says, my mom entered on a visitor visa over 10 years ago. She's 50. Pays taxes. She's married. Both of her parents, your mom's parents, your grandparents are U.S. citizens. They filled out an I-130 back in 2013, but nothing has happened yet. What can be done? So your grandparents are U.S. citizens. They filed for your mom. That case is now taking about 15, 16 years. So when it gets to the point of approval, though, the fact that she's here without status will be in the way. And I'm not sure what you can do about that. But give us a call. We might have some solutions for you, okay? Not something I want to talk about here, but there might be some legal advice in here for you. So do a consultation. We can talk about this. Emma Abdul says, hi, when a U.S. citizen I-130 petition for a child got approved, can the N-600 be filed right away for the same child? And also, can the child travel when the N-600 is pending? When a citizen files for a child, they get the I-130 approved. Then they have to get a green card. Once the child gets the green card, you can file for a passport, first of all. And at the same time, you can file the N-600. The kid can travel with a green card and a new passport while the N-600 is pending because the US passport will come much faster. For the N-600, you need to prove that the child lives in your custody. Just like because one parent is a US citizen is not enough to get the N-600 approved. You also need to show the kid is living with you in your custody. You have the custody of the kid. John Ali says, hello, Marina. My advance parole is expiring in 2024. Could USCIS extend it again? Sure. You have to file 6 months before it expires for a new advance parole. Thank you, Cesar Hahn. Dalia says, I have advanced parole and afraid to travel to my country. Is it safe? It's safe. Look at what Porfirio said. I'm going to try to highlight Porfirio with his awesome. Um, he traveled and he says they gave him a stamp with his advanced parole. Here. Porfirio says, I went to Mexico. He's from Mexico. With my advanced parole and my Mexican passport, they gave him a stamp that says he's paroled for many times, multiple time entries. Okay? So it's safe to travel. I'm going to be wrapping up. John Ali says, and I can travel again with no problem at all. Yes, you can. You can travel again with no problem at all. They will renew your advance parole, give you a new advance parole as long as your I-485 is pending or your TPS is in status. I'm going to answer a couple more questions from Instagram, and I will say goodbye to you until next week. Rajesh says, hello, ma'am. He is watching from India. Anthony Stannett says he filed for advanced parole last month. How long does it take for approval as an R1? It might take like 1 year or even more for advanced parole. Thank you so much. I don't see any more questions. I will say goodbye. See you next week. We will post next week what time the show will be. It's probably going to be at night again because I have court in the morning on Wednesday, next Wednesday. All right, you guys. So see you later. Bye-bye.